All right, now we're going back in. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, so here's the facility. This is Fairburn. Yeah, it's a good looking facility, right? So if anybody knows where Fairburn, Georgia is, and I talked about this last week, if you guys hopped on, is that I have I have a mini portfolio of, let me see, Miss Lillian's self-storage. We have a mini portfolio of storage facilities in the South Atlanta area that are going to be worth quite a bit of money. I'm so excited. And we're thinking about selling this portfolio. We are selling it. In fact, we're in the process of getting it ready to sell. But essentially, you know, it's just, this one is the Fayetteville location. This is Fairburn. This is Noonan, and then this is Franklin. Okay, so there's like a little, this would be a great little mini portfolio for somebody to buy. But this area here, I mean, this area really is a secondary. I mean, this is like this. I mean, this be considered prime. I would consider this primary market. Honestly, I would be considered this, because when I Google like competitors, my competitors are like U-Haul and Extra Space Storage. You know what I'm saying? This is really like, you know, this is a big populated area. Now, Franklin is not going to be as populated, but like these three through Noonan, if anybody knows this area, I would consider this primary market. You know, when you see Cube Smarts and Extra Space Storage and U-Hauls next to you, I would consider that probably primary market. Okay. So, yeah, so we started out, because I essentially lived in Peachtree City, which is like, yeah, right here. So I lived in Peachtree City. And so I was just like, let me just go drive around and just talk to as many owners as I possibly can and see who wants to sell. Right. And that's really how it started out. And I would just drive around, and at every facility, I would just like stop in and just, I mean, actually I would call them is what so what I did is I was driving and I would call them and just see, you know, talk to the owner and see if they wanted to sell. And they'd be like, hey, I'm right outside your storage facility, and I was just wondering if you'd be interested in selling. Now, the Fayetteville location, we found that one on the MLS, but the Fairburn and the Noonan and the Franklin one, I found those by driving for storage. So after I found the first one, which was 5 years ago, I was like, ooh, this is good. I'm going to go buy me some more storage facilities. All right. And then I went out and I started just driving around. And so I found the next one that I picked up was the Noonan one, which I went over last week. And then the next one that I picked up was the Fairburn one. So that's what you're seeing right now. And I just started creating this little mini portfolio. And so that is what this looks like. Okay. So just imagine. And this is probably like, this picture is from 2021. It doesn't really honestly look much different. I think we've power washed it, you know, but we really haven't done a lot of work. So that's just the type of, you know, that's type of like, you know, managers that we are. Like, we're not, I mean, we're like cheap. All right. So if it doesn't really need to get done, then we're not going to do it. I don't know. I don't really know how people do so much CapEx and then make money, you know, like make money at it and stuff too. So like we do, like, we don't really do a lot, honestly, to manage our facilities. We come in, we like, you know, we'll power wash it. Now this facility, this gate is fixed. All right, there's a gate here. Now, when you look at this facility, I mean, it's cleaned up, because when we bought it, it was like super, like weeds were everywhere and stuff. So it does look a little bit better, but essentially this is it. This is what it looks like. Now, so what happened was I was driving for storage, and somebody, like, you know, so I was talking to somebody, I can't remember who was, some RIA meeting or something, and somebody was like, oh yeah, there's a storage facility like right around the corner from my house that looks pretty dumpy. And I was like, oh, where? Tell me. And he says in Fairburn. I was like, oh, it's like right where I live. He's like, yeah, you should just go over there and just take a look. So I did. I just drove over, and he was like, I don't know the name of it or anything. He's like, but you know, there's a pretty dumpy one there. And I was like, okay. So I drove over and took a look at it, and I pulled up and I parked right in this area, and there was actually a sign right here, and it said Rainbow Storage on it. and the rainbow store was like super faded out. Like you couldn't even like read the name, and the phone number had only the 7 digits, right? We talked about this last week. When you have 7-digit phone numbers, you know that's a good storage facility, right? You got to keep trying to get a hold of that owner. And it only had 7 digits. So I obviously knew that, it was kind of an older facility. And so I called the owner up. And I said, I called the owner and I said, and he answered the phone. And I was just like pacing and walking back and forth. Now, little did I know, but like before I talked to the owner, that this was part of it as well too. I thought it was just going to be this building and this building, but it ended up being including this building right here. Okay. And actually this building right here, we had to put a new roof on. So just FYI, this is like, this is a, what's it called? Typical roofs. Okay. For like housing, like house roofs. Okay. And then these over here are like metal roofs. Okay.